So yesterday or the day before, I rode through one of my quieter roads that I enjoy riding on because it doesn't usually have much traffic, even though it's a through road. I believe it was Weld. Was it Weld? No, I can't remember. But and I came across a group of about 6 or 7 kids, maybe all from the same family, probably ages 4 or 5, probably 9, riding bikes and playing in the street. They're going across the road from side to side, from one house to the next, just enjoying themselves. When I came through on my bike, they kind of moved, they looked for me, moved aside, and then went back to playing. And I thought, wow, that's really great and different, and something you don't see very often anymore, unfortunately. When we were kids, the streets were our playgrounds, and it wasn't that we had permission to play in the streets. In fact, a lot of parents, the drivers, would get a little, I think, annoyed when we were, in their way, quote unquote, in their way, when we were playing football or baseball or something like that in the street. And I know when we were using Terry Flynn's Vikings, autographed Vikings football, playing in the street, and it hit the ground once or twice, I'm sure he would have been justifiably mad. That was probably not the coolest thing in the world to do. But it was a football, we wanted to play. But especially summer nights, you're playing, car comes up, somebody's watching the car, and somebody just yells, "Car!" And the game gets interrupted, everybody moves off the side, the car goes through. Usually it's a parent of, one of our neighbors or somebody that knows us. Have the opportunity for the driver or the adult to make eye contact and connection with the kids in their shared space. And then kids go back to playing. What a great use of public space that was. Morning. Great use of public space. And it's an example of how how space gets used kind of naturalistically. Now, I could be accused of being a idealistic or, Gen Xer, boomer, that romanticizes the history, of what we grew up with. Oh, everybody romanticizes their own history. And it's true. But these kids were playing in the street. And it's their street. I mean, just like this street here. Hardly any cars go on this most of the time. Most of the time, especially with, say, after school, before parents come home. The street has got kids on it, or would. Now, one of my friends asked, "Hey, is that still allowed? Can we do that?" Jokingly. And I said, I don't think it was ever allowed. But kids used to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. We didn't really ask for forgiveness either. We just did it and hoped that we didn't get in trouble. And, maybe that's kids of the past. I don't know. Have we created a system or an environment where kids don't feel they have the permission or the opportunity to use our public streets, our public spaces? I mean, honestly, they should. They should be out playing. And, it's kind of a joke that you're going to use your kids as a speed bump. Well, streets where kids play are safer. Drivers are going to be looking out. It's like these dots right here. They're a signal of children. And a signal of children creates an increased sense of responsibility in a driver. It should. Now, drivers don't like to be thinking, and they've been kind of spoiled. They're spoiled into thinking that the roads belong to them, and not only should they never have any sort of obstruction, oddly enough, not even other cars, they should never have a pothole, they should never have a judder bar or a speed cushion or anything that has the potential to slow them down or even just make them think for a moment. Morning. You know, just engage their brain for a moment. And as I said, you know, when the parents drive by, they go by at the speed of humanity, because humanity is living on the street, it's interacting with the street, so they have to slow down to the speed of humanity. And when they do so, the speed of humanity gives them the opportunity to interact with other humans. It's amazing. Morning. You know, it's a community that. Wow, they're bundled up. It's a community building thing. So I would love to see a campaign, see more parents encouraging their kids to get out and about. You know, a lot of adults say kids have no respect these days. Kids, you know, don't know the rules. Kids don't, I don't know. You know, in my day, we were respectful. Well, in your day, in our day, we were absent. We were gone. You know, we were out and about. We were entertaining ourselves. We were doing shit. You know, and we had manners when we were inside, because that's what you do. But most of the time, we're outside, and we ruled the outside. Outside. And adults kind of knew it, especially in residential areas. Adults kind of understood that they were just passing through. There's not that sense anymore that residential streets belong to the residents. More of a sense that the residential streets belong to throughput. And that's a pretty sad thing. And I think we as adults have the responsibility and the opportunity to undo some of the damage that has been done to our children's freedom, to the communities that they build through interacting with adults in their cars or on the street, by encouraging them to get out and about and to get them off their screens. And that's the other thing. We just have to get kids off their screens, off their little dopamine infusion sets. I didn't see a signal. So they can go out and create their own dopamine. So kids need to play. They need to get outside. Streets are for kids. Residential streets are for kids. Morning. No, this way.